All right, let's kick things off with a pretty wild idea. Imagine the company that gave us ChatGPT, the AI that basically everyone has heard of. What if they end up losing the entire AI race? Sounds pretty unlikely, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to dig into why OpenAI might just be the underdog in this whole thing. So, let's really get into it. The narrative we all hear, right? It's that OpenAI is way out in front, that Silicon Valley is the undisputed center of the AI world. But what if that's not the full story? What if that's only one side of the coin? We're about to explore a totally different scenario, one where the leader, but when everyone's watching, actually gets past. First up, let's talk about the company that's at the center of this whole conversation, OpenAI. I mean, let's be honest, they are the absolute poster child for this AI revolution. And look, their strengths they're huge. You've got that insane global brand recognition. I mean, my grandma knows what ChatGPT is. They've managed to pull in the absolute best of the best, the elite AI researchers from all over the world. And of course, there's that massive partnership with Microsoft, which gives them pretty much unlimited access to Azure's computing power. So you look at all that and you think, wow, these guys are unstoppable. But, and this is a big but, this is where things start to get a little shaky. Because at the end of the day, OpenAI is still just a single company. It's completely dependent on investor money, and that means there's this constant, crushing pressure to make money fast. We're talking subscriptions, API fees, you name it. And we've all seen the headlines about their internal challenges, right? Leadership shakeups, arguments over their mission. The takeaway here is simple. They might be powerful, but they are not invincible. And that vulnerability is exactly where our story pivots. Because while OpenAI is playing one game, building a successful company, there's another player on the field using a totally different playbook. We're talking about China's national AI strategy. This is the absolute key to understanding the whole thing. Forget about a normal corporate rivalry, like Apple versus Google. That's not what this is. This is one company, one single company, going head-to-head with an entire nation's coordinated ecosystem. It's a totally different scale. Yeah, they call it the national team strategy. And it's exactly what it sounds like. The government has basically said AI is our #1 strategic priority. They're not just sitting on the sidelines hoping a startup gets lucky. No, they are all in, actively pouring state funding and creating policies to boost their own tech giants. Your Baidus, your Alibabas, your Tencents. The goal? To get AI integrated into absolutely everything. I love this analogy because it just hits the nail on the head. Think of OpenAI as a Formula One car. It's unbelievably fast, super sleek, right on the bleeding edge, but it's also kind of fragile, right? It needs a perfect track and a huge support team. Now, China's approach, that's a freight train. It took a while to get going, sure, but it is just pure, raw power. It's built for massive scale, and once that thing is up to speed, good luck trying to stop it. So what's the fuel for this freight train? What's getting it to that unstoppable speed? Well, the answer is one word, and it's maybe the most important word in AI: data. Just let that sink in for a minute. Not millions, we're talking billions. Billions of mobile payment transactions happening every single day. You have to remember, AI models are data-hungry engines. The more data you feed them, the better they get. And the amount of data fuel being generated in China is just on another level. It's a scale that's almost impossible for us to wrap our heads around. And where's all this data coming from? Well, think about daily life there. Almost everyone uses mobile payments for everything, from buying coffee to paying rent, all through apps like WeChat and Alipay. You've got these gigantic e-commerce platforms, social media that's woven into everything, and a massive push for smart city infrastructure. Put it all together and you have this incredible, real-time treasure trove of human behavior data. There's just nothing else like it on the planet. Okay, but having a mountain of data isn't enough, right? You need the people who can actually build something with it and a culture that knows how to move fast. And that brings us to China's other huge advantage. I mean, just look at these numbers. It's not even close. The pipeline of new engineers, scientists, and tech graduates is just enormous. Now, OpenAI is amazing at snacking that top 1% of global talent, no doubt, but China has this unbelievable volume, this massive pool of STEM talent to pull from every single year. And it's not just the numbers, it's the culture. Their entire tech scene is built for one thing: scale. The home market is so brutally competitive that if you don't iterate and launch new features at lightning speed, you're toast. So they've gotten really, really good at deploying tech to literally hundreds of millions of people, like overnight. I mean, just think about TikTok. The speed at which it took over the world, that's the mindset we're talking about. It completely stunned everyone. Okay, so when you put all this together, you arrive at the real heart of the matter. This isn't just about technology. It's a fundamental clash between two completely different philosophies of how you win. So on one side, you've got OpenAI's philosophy, breakthrough innovation. Their whole game is to push the absolute limits of the tech, to go for that incredible moonshot discovery that changes the world. And on the other side, you have China's philosophy, mass-scale execution. Their focus isn't on the one big breakthrough, it's on applying the tech we have right now as broadly and as fast as possible, weaving it into the fabric of society. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because think about it. Innovation without scale can just fizzle out, right? A brilliant idea that never gets used by millions of people is just a cool experiment. But at the same time, scale without new innovation, that eventually just stagnates. You stop moving forward. So the key thing to realize is that neither side has a guaranteed win here. So let's just boil it all down. What have we learned? 1. OpenAI is the brilliant trailblazer, but it's fragile. It's vulnerable. 2. China is the systemic challenger, playing the long game with nearly unlimited data, talent, and government backing. And 3. This race is ultimately going to be decided not just by who has the smartest AI, but by who has the sheer power to execute and deploy it at scale. And so that leaves us with the big, final question. What's going to win in the long run? Is it innovation without scale, or is it scale without innovation? Is it the F1 car's lightning-fast breakthrough, or is it the unstoppable, overwhelming momentum of the freight train? Which one of those philosophies do you think is going to shape the world we live in?